Hello, hello, wise ones. This is Stephanie from Our Natural Wisdom. So good to be with you again. Today, I want to bring you some tree wisdom that has been coming forth for me, and I know that it is meant to be shared with you. This time here between winter and spring is a real transitional time, and it's a time when we can get a little rough with ourselves about all of the things that we wanted to release and let go over the winter with all of our inner work that you may have been doing. And even if you didn't realize that you were doing it, I guarantee that you were doing some really good inner work this winter. It was just a winter that was meant for that, for all of us. And as I've been walking around and looking at the trees and talking with the trees, connecting with the trees, I've been noticing once again how so many of, especially the oaks and also the beeches, have held onto their leaves from the fall. Now, this is something that's kind of become fascinating to me, and I wanted to share the wisdom that I have received through this. We think of trees as shedding all of their leaves in the fall, right? But especially the oaks and the beeches, many of them hold on to their leaves over the winter time. And this is called marcescence. It's a great word. I just love how it feels when you say it in your mouth, marcescence. Marcescence is when the leaf stem has not created usually what happens in the fall is temperature conditions and sunlight triggers the tree to essentially cut off the growth to the leaf stem. So a layer develops, a layer of dead tissue essentially, that eventually allows for the leaf to fall off in the traditional way that we always think of leaves falling off of deciduous trees. But for some trees, and this is especially common with oaks and beeches, I have learned, this does not happen fully, and the tree holds on to their leaves over the winter time. And this is what creates that beautiful rustly, almost like rain stick sound that you might hear sometimes, those large dead leaves that are rustling in the breeze in the winter time. And even now here in the late winter coming into spring, we see this. Now, it might seem like, oh, there's something wrong with that tree, but really in actuality, there are a lot of positive reasons that trees do this. And I'm sharing this with you because there's a lot of there can be a lot of healing and a lot of wisdom that you can find within yourself when you embrace the marcescence that is happening within you. We think that we need to release things and let them go, and that we need to shed things and move on to the next phase of our lives very quickly, or that we need to, it all needs to happen at once. These are parts of us that really have a drive to get things over quickly, thinking that that could be easier for us. And that's like a protector mechanism. It's a part of you that really wants you to not be in a period of difficulty for too long. But in actuality, there's times where we need to sit in that time. We need to experience the knowing that we still have these things that we need to release, and there's great wisdom, and then can be a timing and a pacing associated with that can actually serve us much more deeply in the future than if we were to shed all of our leaves at once and move on to the next thing, or move on to the next season, or move on to the next job, or the next relationship, or the next house. There's a lot of parts of us that think that is the way that things should go, that we need to cut things off and then move on. And the trees are sharing with me that there's a lot of benefits associated with holding on to those leaves that they have held on to. One of them is that over the winter, especially the young trees as they're growing, when these dead leaves are still retained by the tree, they're less susceptible to things like deer browsing the leaf buds, because they have this, dead leaf, this cluster of leaves that's associated with the end of the branch. It may be a bit loud too, as we know when we hear the beautiful rustling sounds as we're walking. And so that may deter browsers. That may deter more difficulties associated with their growth. And holding on to those leaves is actually a way of ensuring that you will be able to rebirth those leaf buds in the spring when they do eventually fall off, when those leaves do eventually release. And when they do release, for many of these trees, it provides an additional source of nutrients in their root zone in the spring, at a time when they most need it and when they're engaged in a lot of growth, as you are as well in your times of transition. There's just so much wisdom to be gained from thinking like a tree, thinking of how your life is being experienced in so many ways as all living beings on earth experience life, and that there is so much wisdom and healing to be drawn from this. So today I just wanted to share this with you because I want you to know that if you're feeling like you're maybe berating yourself over some things that you feel you need to shed and release, and that, boy, why didn't I do this earlier, and why is this taking so long? There could be very good reasons for why these particular leaves are being held by you. It may not be just because you are, don't beat yourself up. It's not because you have failed in some way to do the inner work that you feel is necessary to release these leaves. The release of these things, of these items, of these self-limiting beliefs, of these burdens or fears, things that you know are time to let go. This can be done gently, and we can learn so much from nature all around us in why it is important to take a different perspective, a different approach in how we treat ourselves with self-compassion, and that we know that we have an innate ability to self-heal and to derive and bring forth the wisdom that is within all of us, because you have such a beautiful connection with Mother Earth. And you, as a healer of the earth, in so many respects, have a very deep connection with the healing and the wisdom that Mother Earth is always willing to provide, always offering in abundance for anybody who is willing to see and to open their heart, open their perspectives, and really embrace all there is to be received through connection with Mother Earth. This is just a short example of the kind of wisdom that is offered in the Sacred Grove. The Sacred Grove is my group coaching experience. It's a seasonal journey, and enrollment is open now for the spring season, which will begin in the beginning of April, is our first gathering of the Sacred Grove. This is a place for women who are healers of the earth to gather, like-minded women to share their experience of growth and a journey with Mother Earth's healing and all of the wisdom that they can reawaken within themselves, within yourself, when you join us in the Sacred Grove this spring. It would be an honor to work with you and to journey with you and to learn and receive from Mother Earth gathered with you in the Sacred Grove. You can learn all about it at the website ournaturalwisdom.com/thesacredgrove. Have a beautiful day. Take care. Bye-bye.